The Warg Attack in the Two Towers is probably one of my favorite scenes in the movie because of the build-up and the music, and everything is just perfect, and it honestly still gives me goosebumps every time I see it, even though I've seen it probably like 50 times. But there's a lot of interesting things about this scene. First of all, the Warg Attack never actually happens in the book at all. The Wargs are merely mentioned by Tolkien as being part of the armies, but they're never really explained in full. But Peter Jackson really wanted to add a Warg Attack and bring them to the full screen, and I think this is a good example of when it really works to add something that isn't in the book. Initially though, the Warg Attack was supposed to happen at night and at Edoras, and the battle would basically be around the gates. But when they decided to build a full set for Edoras, it simply didn't work to film at night due to the set being so far away, so they instead decided to do it when they were on their way to Helm's Deep, meaning that this scene wasn't very well planned.
The problem with the Warg fight ultimately became one in which it wasn't really adequately planned beforehand. We just simply ran out of time. I remember sitting on the set with Christian Rivers, and we just came up with ideas for the Warg fight about, just different gags and what could happen and how the progression of the fight would occur.
And on top of that, as you might have imagined, all of the wargs were completely CGI, meaning that all the actors on the horses and on the ground were basically running around flailing their swords towards nothing, which as an actor is obviously a lot harder than if you actually have uruks in full suits you can swing at.
At the time it felt like a lot of nonsense. I mean, when you're sort of slashing at things and firing at things that aren't there. But it was one of those times when you just go, Pete knows what he's doing.
And I'm gonna be honest, even though I understand that the wargs were CGI, I thought they had some type of like puppets or similarly that the actors could swing at, but that wasn't the case, except for a few more close-up scenes like Aragorn getting dragged away or Gimli getting stacks of wargs on him.
For my sequence, they actually had a huge piece of yak hair covered warg that falls on top of me.
Most of it is fully CGI, and I think it's incredible that the CGI actually held up so well. And in the end, this obviously turned out to be a fantastic scene that was very well executed, and it's kind of hard to believe that 50% of it is CGI, and everything was planned very last minute since they completely changed their plans for the scene. If you're interested in more behind the scenes clips from Middle-earth, as well as news and discussions, consider hitting that subscribe button.